This is going to be round 2 of Heat 1 of the World Championships. This features Duncan playing Iden and Darth Vader Emperor Servant versus Cody playing an Oops All Mandos list, the Mandalorian and the Armorer. This is going to be an exciting match against two very good players. Really excited to see how this one plays out. Let's go ahead and jump on into the action. There is the handshake, and off we go.
Very good sportsmanlike.
Sportsmanship is intact.
Should be fun.
So regroup is going to be the Shatterpoint ability, and we see the Clan Kryze right off the rip.
That's not bad. Love to see those Mandos get positioned someplace beneficial.
The nice thing is you can be kind of aggressive with the Mandos, like I was saying last round, like because they do have the Beskar armor, so you can really kind of run them forward. To get on that center point.
Yeah. Well, the Mandos do have Beskar armor, but it's also their defensive pool dice is somewhat lacking. So, yeah, it is a good defensive tech, but also they could just die as easily as anybody else's.
Fair, true. Yep. So just move and take cover, getting up onto those points to sit there and try and make sure that you get the point. Takes control of the 3 points. Of course, he is the first player, so he will not scoring at this point in time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's very important. I mean, getting... No. Yeah. Well, getting the hunker token, at least when you're a higher elevation, does help you out a lot more than just a hunker on the same level.
Right. Basically, yeah, he's definitely kind of just moving over there, kind of getting himself into position, has those 3 points.
Yeah, well, body blocking a ladder, an ingress point, it should be, very a nuisance to any other player.
Ideally, yes. Ideally, that's what you're...
Reserving Gideon. Gideon was pulled and being reserved.
Right off the bat. But he gets the shatter point.
Was shatter point. Ooh.
Yep, so shatter point right off the rip is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So of course he's complete surprise here, but Duncan has decided to go outside of the norm and Shatterpoint Iden with his first activation.
That's interesting.
Yeah, bold move. Bold move. Let's see how it works out.
Move.
So yeah, going with Iden here, being able to just move everybody is fantastic.
Duncan wailed his arms, was like, all right, I guess I gotta go. Oh, man.
The Aubrey hate? No, it's not hate.
It's not hate.
It's just a good ribbing of Aubrey constantly.
Aubrey doesn't mind. You actually hear Aubrey behind closed doors. That's the rough part. You guys don't get to know Aubrey real personally.
But no, so basically just kind of moving everybody forward, like what Iden does.
Well, with that, he is just setting himself up wonderfully.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Iden, is just like, especially when you get her early, you can just kind of get everything out there. I mean, amazing that and knowing that he has Gideon now in reserve to be able to sit there and use him at any point in time he feels it's appropriate to use him. So got both of those ISS kind of like right there in the center.
Yeah, well, one to at least take the bottom point.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one looks like he's just positioning it.
Oh, no, one of them is Iden to take that. All right. So, yeah, that was actually Iden that's over there, not the... and he's going to have Iden, looks like probably put a shot into the Clan Kryze that had moved forward.
Well, 4 dice. Looks like he's getting covered.
All right, so here comes the dice roll.
All right. 8 to, I think, Cody's 6.
Plus the free automatic hit. Couple of fails he's pulling out there. So 4 strikes. The 2 expertise turns into the 2 crits. 4 down the tree.
Ugh.
So yeah, the Covert or the Clan Kryze are going to take a little bit of damage
here. Yeah, Cody measuring from Bo, desperately see if he was within range of the protection and steadfast bubble.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to quite be there.
No, not turn 1.
All right, so he's going to basically get. So he went to the double shove route of doing everything here. So he's just going to resolve all this.
Panda in the streets, but a Sith in the sheets. Yeah.
What?
Sounds about right.
All right, so 7 damage.
That wounds them.
That does.
That is rough.
All right, so solid attack by Iden. It's
Yep.
So basically, that it does cause the wound. He does 7 damage on this one with the 2 shoves. So it's going to be. That was the full tree basically with her. So 2 shoves, a pin, and an expose.
Yeah.
Oh, burst fire side. Okay. I was about to say didn't make. Okay, Aubrey's throwing me confusions here.
He did not have a
He was on the burst side, not the audible one. All right, so yeah, it does 7 damage, and I'm assuming it's in the expose and the pin still.
Yeah, expose the pin.
He went down to the shove and back.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. So just 1 shove on this one, didn't do the 2. Okay. So basically, it's going to be 7 damage, and expose, a pin, and a shove. But it does wound armor, and then the Mandalorian has his response to the wound, so his revenge trigger.
Oh boy! In response to that madness.
Yeah, in response to that, he gets the coverts. I mean, so
yeah.
he's basically getting both of his primary or his supports out of the way. I guess is okay.
Yes, line them up for the slaughter. Well,
right.
Yeah. No, like I said, the Mandalorian expertise and their defensive tech. Yeah, they're okay, but still very, very squishy.
Yeah, I mean, like the other thing is like you don't expect Iden to go first and be able to do what she does, So I mean, so like because she immediately you have Iden, she goes and does the covert operations, gets the and now she's rolling 10 dice on you. So there is that piece of it too. So like if it was any other unit, they probably wouldn't have hit as hard.
Probably not. But at least with that, in the bright side of that wound, Mando did get to move up.
Yep.
So moved out, passed out a hunker to, I'm assuming what Bo is, and gets himself into a better positioning for next round. Or at least his activation.
So basically, Cody's right now looking to see if he can make a move and get to that egress point. Determined that that's probably not going to be the case. So he did go ahead and reserve the coverts ended up going with the Mandalorian instead.
Yep. Interesting.
So Mando being able to move up now is really kind of like looking at what do you want to do with this, because
who do you want to hit? You have a range 5 attack.
Yep. And so he can get up there. I mean, you can look into going into Iden at this point in time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
soften her up a little bit.
Yeah, soften her up a little bit. Maybe even get her in position for one of the converts or the coverts to attack.
Yep.
It should be. Yeah.
Kind of interesting, like which way you want to go with that. I mean, I don't know if he can't get all the way to go and flip that point on the other side. But where he's at, like, he really needs to make us move that struggle tracker a little bit to kind of help himself out.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Sadly enough, Mando does not follow the traditional "I hop you, you hop me."
Right. Exactly.
But yeah.
So doing an attack into Vader, it looks like.
He's on that point on the high ground.
No. That's not that good of a roll.
Not that great.
5 damage shot.
Iden.
Okay, so yeah, he went into Iden here. 5 damage and a shove into Iden because she's on that back point, kind of behind where everything is, and that's where he's measuring out to do the move at this point in time is back there.
Yeah, well, 5 damage is 5 damage, but at least the shove that he gets to do off, he follows up with it, and perhaps gives him enough room to use his ability with Grogu.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, pushing Iden down. Now she's off the point, which is ideal what he's going to want to do here because he really does want to sit there and try and get... he needs to get at least that 3rd point. He's not going to get 4 here, I don't see. But he is going to be able to at least bring it back a little bit farther his way.
Yeah. And this is now, the top side of the board has now became a 2 primaries against 1 primary.
Yep.
So successfully snagged the point away. That's good. Now the only thing Mando has to worry about is for a Vader to show up or Stormtrooper Sergeant to move up someone else.
Exactly. So yeah, he's on the point now, flipping that back. Trying to determine if there's line of sight for stuff over here is kind of what each one of them are looking at.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right. Scoring the 3 points here.
Going back to the center and getting both of them.
No, it won't be center. He's going to be 1 shy, so it's going to get a momentum for it.
Oh, boy.
So a little short because Duncan scored 4 that last round. It's going to be just 1 short. But it's the biggest thing is he's really going to have to hope that he holds on to this point here. So Duncan does get Stormtrooper Sergeant, though. Like, probably an ideal pull. He's getting, like, just the ideal pull all of a sudden. So moves one of the Dark Troopers up right here. Kind of like basically they're both on top of that top bridge for the one. Now he's going to go ahead and move the other one.
Yeah.
Of course, dealing the damage to them, but that's 100% okay.
No, especially for Darth Troopers.
Yeah. But to move both of them forward like that and only for a damage is pretty nice. And they're tanky enough, durable enough to where that's not going to matter too much.
You also can't push.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Here's my pieces that cannot be moved by your abilities. They are a very powerful piece to any Imperialist.
Exactly.
Especially with the Mooney, Plo Koon, even Shak T out there. They laugh at them.
Without a doubt, they definitely are able to sit there and move things around and everything along those lines. All right, here comes the attack.
Oh, boy. Not that well of a hit.
No, pretty ideal. And Duncan, like, it's funny, like, you watch these guys, they're so fast with their dice because they just play so often. They just move things around over and over.
You know, they're very quick players.
Right.
But not as in the fact that they play very fast. They just know what they're doing. So much repetition between this game.
So you got a pin off the expertise, strain off the Dark Troopers, but no results.
Yeah, nothing moves through there, just a pin. Basically from the expertise is really what's going to happen.
I mean, a pin against a Mando list is probably the greatest weakness a Mando list could ever have.
Yep.
You might as well just cut off their legs now. They're not going to be able to move anywhere.
All right. And that was the scoring again, scoring 3. So that what worked out well for him here is that he was able to prevent.
He dropped the strain doing magic hand back.
So drop the strain, magic hands back. But the nice thing for him is he was able to just prevent a point from getting swung back again. And now we're going to see the Covert's coming out of the reserve. Which I honestly I do think this is kind of the good play because now he can try and take that point up on the bottom and try and get that point there to really kind of make it all work out, hopefully, because that'll get him to 4 points, get it back to center, and I think that's really where Cody needs to start shining at, is that.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad way to go out of it, because at this point it's either he would lean into either pulls armor or Paz, or Bo. And coverts, neither the clan Kryze aren't up, and the coverts are the only thing that would benefit Bo to reposition it, or push up Paz up forward.
Right.
But yeah, putting in coverts right now, especially with Iden already going, gives at least Duncan to think about what can he hit next. The coverts are over here, and he probably just needs to snipe in some damage.
And here comes the attack roll.
Oh boy. Let's see if the ISB can survive this.
So 4 blocks
Not
is pretty
bad.
solid. Yeah, it
That's
looks like
pretty solid. Alright, so 2 going down the coverage tree.
2 through, I should say.
At least 2 damage getting through. But what status conditions is?
3 damage strain.
Yep.
So 3 damage and a strain.
That's not bad. Second attack. Well, Cody breaking the rules, and
well, 3 crits is solid, though.
yeah, 3 crits is solid.
Blocks everything but the 3 crits.
Yeah.
Strain shove is already strained.
Oh, okay. So 3 damage strain in the shove, but with the previous strain, it turns into another damage.
So basically from this attack, 7 total with the strain staying on there because it did 3 in a strain and then 3 in a strain again. Yeah. So the ISF are down.
Haha, I trade you my support for your support.
Right, exactly. And they haven't activated yet is the other thing to keep in mind. So, like, they're going to activate, stand back up.
Yeah.
They're only going to get, like, and if they get wounded again, that kind of is going to be the end of them. So they score 4 here, 2 each go to momentum, puts Cody kind of back where he needs to be. And Gideon Hask is going to be coming out of reserve for Duncan at this point.
Oh, boy.
And he looks like he's already just going to eye those covert mandos to sit there and put an attack right
Yep.
into this.
Yep, and handing out a strain.
Handing out the strain from the Dark Troopers. Pretty. So 4 down the tree here.
Seven push.
7 damage and a push.
Strain's already on there.
7 damage in his job, has the strain on him already.
Oh, boy.
Pretty brutal for them.
Poor little coverts. Yep.
And that's going to put the covers down. So, yeah. This is going to be a pretty fast game, I'm almost positive, just because the way... Well, like, they both play very quickly. I mean, they both know the lines of play that they want to take. Duncan, has, like, when we watched him last year, was a very fast player. So, yeah, we're definitely going to see a lot of that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the dice have been that bad.
No, they haven't been horrible.
No, but it's just that's what happens when you try to rush, or at least not when placing those coverts up. That you have to be willing to take that hit.
Yeah, and I don't think I mean, he needed to take that point. Like, that's the biggest thing is, like, if he doesn't take these points, he's going to fall behind. So it is ideal for him to sit there and move forward and take those points. And it happens. I mean, that's kind of to be expected, especially against the Iden list.
Just clarifying, the Mando trigger is removing 2 damage in the pin off of Mando.
Mando basically does have his revenge trigger that comes up. Basically removes 2 damage in a pin. And he is good to go at this point. Shatterpoint.
So
that was
for
only
Cody.
the nice thing for Cody here was that was only 3 points scored. So he's going to have to. He is going to regroup, and if he decides to go with Shatterpoint, I don't see why he wouldn't. But he's probably just going to debate which one he is going to utilize.
Well, yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't take the shatter. But if the question becomes if who am I going to activate it with?
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like he's measuring off Paz. Yeah, he's measuring off Paz right now.
But he decided to go with the armor?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, so. Going with armor at least lets Paz jump and armor, so now they're into the game now. They're officially trying to get into it. Armor seems to be moving up to the second point along with Paz, so they have the bodies for it. Up to armor now if she wants to bully Hask.
Yeah, that's really kind of just trying to figure out what they want to do with all of that. Whether
deciding if he wants to spend a force on her exposing.
Yeah, Hunter and Prey, a very good tool for extra movement as well. The trade of both being exposed is fair.
Just checking who's coming up next.
Yeah, it's you definitely have to at least plan ahead when it comes to it, because then it's who in my opposition who is going after me right now.
Exactly.
So we did do Hunter.
Okay, Hunter and Prey with an exposed going into Iden Hask. Or Gideon Hask, sorry.
It looks like he's going into Gideon, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you might as well bully him when you have the chance. Ooh, 4 down armor. That's a juicy hit.
I mean, she is pretty solid for that. Should be doing 6 damage?
Should be 6 damage and then whatever else
Yeah, so 6 damage into Gideon's pretty good. Softens him up a little bit for the follow-up.
6 double shove.
So 6 and 2 shoves is basically where he's going to go, kind of pushing him back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also have to think about it. If she double shoves him, it does give Paz at least enough. Ooh.
So shove is gonna push him
Into the terrain. So first shove into terrain, and then second shove, I'm assuming.
And they're just contemplating the angles here of which way to shove and everything along those lines, which is a legal shove.
Oh, pushing Gideon into him.
Basically just trying to get the angles of where is the best to go with any of this. So, yeah.
Well, he's also just trying to get Gideon away from the center of the board.
Yep. Yeah, it's trying to separate out the getting the Gideon dice, so like some people might not be able to get it and everything like that. That's a good way to kind of deal with the Gideon's ability.
Yeah, I mean, a guaranteed hit is a lot.
Right.
Yeah, some might not think so because it could be easily blocked, but let me tell you, when Empire hits you, they hit you.
Yep, and then he took a hunker the other way. So taking cover basically, a hunker back.
He swung back his own point, so that's fair.
It is. And it looks like Duncan here pulled the Dark Troopers.
Right, Darth Troopers. Well,
so he still has Vader and he still has the ISF to go in his...
Yeah. Well, Darth Troopers, since they're already up there, just better positioning for him.
Exactly.
Hand out those strains, baby.
And Duncan's just kind of looking at where the best place to go is, kind of making sure he positions himself as best as possible.
Yeah. There's some times where even the best players forget to pop off the strain even when he has the moment to.
Right. All right. Yeah, so definitely looking into kind of measuring out, like, can he get within that range to pop a shot? And what's going to ideally be the best way to get himself into position to
Yeah. Well, you want to be centered because this is Sabotage. The next struggle will be somewhat close.
Right.
So I think maybe you should try to max out his positioning.
Yeah, you definitely want to kind of like make sure you're set up. Like at this point in time, yes, we're still going back and forth, but like it's leaning towards him more. He really does need to be able to have, because right now Cody still has the 4 points. He wants to try and get, he's going to rocket boots to try and get himself to where he can get 2 points as ideally as possible. So yeah, just trying to see if he can rocket boots into position.
He wants to be able to hit that bow.
Right.
Is what it looks like.
Well, because if he can get Bo, if he can shove Bo off the point, and then be able to move into that point, then you're definitely in a good spot to maybe flip 2 points. And if you can flip 2 points, that's going to be pretty detrimental to Cody. And I think that's where Duncan's trying to go with all of this. Starting off with an attack into Bo.
This is Bo.
Bo looks like she's going to have, 5 blocks here after it converts.
Yes, 5 blocks, protection, steadfast.
Yep.
2 down the tree.
So just 2 down the tree. That was a good roll by Cody, though. Or by Duncan, I should say.
2 damage pin.
2 damage and a pin into Bo. And here comes the other one.
Shooting at Mando now.
Shooting into Mando. I think that's going to turn into 3 blocks. Basically looks like
Whole lot of hits.
2 down, basically, again, is what's going to end up.
So another 2 damage and pin. Presumably, he is handing out those pins very.
Shove, pin, 2 damage here. Yeah, there was a shove before, but they weren't able to do that.
Yeah, fair. No, that pin is
very brutal when it comes to
yes.
Very brutal on the Mandalorians, because Mandalorians want to do a lot of movement shenanigans for sure, and they're just not able to do it here. So looking good. He's like basically kind of getting into all the positions that he wants, but it wasn't really able to flip the magic hand thing again. Happens, getting himself back on the point, but only flipping the 1. So that's.
I mean, it's not terrible. And armor going for Cody. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. So yeah, just kind of contemplating what he wants to do here, kind of measuring out again to see where everyone is and where ideally he can get his pieces to as he's playing through this struggle.
Yeah. Well, with armor, it's more like, okay, I've gone with it, but who am I going to move as well? You can't move Mando. He's just received this pin, and you can't move Bo up. She just received her pin. So half of your top left lane has now been neutralized from benefiting from it.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, just kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen with all of this.
So reminder, Iden is over there, right on the ingress point. We've got a Darth Trooper and a Covert Kryze right on top of each other. He's trying to figure out if he can get.
Got it. So yeah, he's just trying to debate whether he can get on the point or not. Because actually, like we forgot that Iden is over on that point as well, just because of the camera angle. So because of that, I think that top point was flipped as well. Yeah, because he scored 4.
You know, this cold weather is getting to me, Todd.
Yeah, for people from Arizona, this isn't the ideal weather. It seems like, so it's all right. You'll get over it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, fair. If she hasn't gone with Bo, it's best to get rid of her pin now.
Yeah, I mean that way she's still in the order deck at this point in time, so it's going to be like nice to sit there and pull her out and go.
And at least armor still benefits from her own jump.
Right.
That's at least on her card.
Yeah, Hunter and Prey.
So Hunter and Prey again.
Time to bonk another unit.
Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and put an attack into. Who is over there?
It looks. Oh boy, 1 block.
That's going to do basically.
That's the whole tree.
That's the whole tree. That's the whole tree on the hammer side. Yeah, solid roll by Cody to just sit there and be. Yeah, full hammer.
Full hammer coming from the armor. Twice now she's done this on stream.
Right? Yeah, she just hits hard on stream. It is all about the armor today. So Cody's kind of just like looking at. There's really only like one or like two different paths you can take with the armor. So he's like kind of looking at what he can do, but does get the wound.
Oh man. Yeah, even with the wound, the score is still fairly tight.
It's but.
Wounded, exposed,
Okay.
Dark Troopers.
Yeah, I mean, so taking down the Dark Troopers is huge here. Like being able to just beat them up pretty good. But yeah, I mean, here comes Vader.
Screen's too
Oh man.
Here comes Vader now down. I mean, he has 3 points as it is already. Literally, just a wound will get him the win. So I think that's
not
that's not hard with Vader.
Not that hard. Now, what would be hard is if Duncan had already wounded all the characters he could.
Yeah, but I
on
mean,
the right side.
But not being able to get just now going with Vader.
Yeah, he would have to try go across. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duncan is suffering from success right now. He's wounded all the characters he could, unless he really wants to make that backtrack to get all the way to Bo.
Yeah, it's not ideal for him to do. So that's really kind of where he's trying to see if he can, because if he doesn't wound, or flip a point really is really what he needs to do, and I don't think Vader's in a position to where he can flip a point.
Oh, he's gonna try.
That's a lot. That's a far ways to go. You can see where what he's trying to do here.
I see.
And I still think he's going to be short. But he's just trying to see what he can do.
Yeah, ha! You already wounded my characters.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't wound them again, sir.
Yeah, they're already wounded.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like that's like where he's trying to go. I think that's the line he's looking for anyway.
Well, I believe he only has 2 cards left in his deck, and I think one of them is.
I think it's the ISF. I don't think he's activated the ISF yet.
Ooh, good move. He reserved Vader and he pulled out the ISF. Yep. Yeah, that's a better.
Yeah, a better activation. You can definitely get so what he's looking at is trying to get on the center point here.
Okay. So center point placement, but also he wants to be able. I think he's trying to double tap armor, which isn't bad. She's technically exposed right now.
Yeah, I don't think that flips the point. Well, you have to take her out because the coverts are down still. So if you get on the point, double tap armor, that flips the point. Or at least pushes her off. I mean, that ideally would be like what you would want to do. Like you could probably push her off. Like if the first one goes, it gets one shove.
I think 2 shoves and she's off the point.
2 shoves, she's off the point. But ideally, that's what, because you can't really shove the other way. I can't. All right. 3 blocks. It looks like. 1. She has 3 expertise.
Well, she's exposed.
Oh gosh, that's right.
So that's 1 block.
So 4 down the tree.
No, boy.
Is gonna be a.
That's a decent amount of damage.
It's definitely a decent amount. And here comes the second attack. There's a lot of fails in there, though. But 2 crits.
Yeah. Joke's on you. I didn't have my expertise.
Right.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Yeah. So both those attacks, again, Duncan goes pretty quick here. So Duncan goes pretty quick when it comes to playing. But yeah, he went both into an armor. That was basically knocking her out.
Yeah, so that's a wound for Duncan.
Right. So that's definitely going to get him the struggle.
Where's Mando with this? Did he remove his pin, or is he still pinned?
I think Mando is still pinned, but this is going to be, again, another revenge trigger to sit there and do the thing. He might have removed it by now. Again, these guys are playing so fast.
Yeah, they are playing fairly fast.
Yeah. So quickly, like you want to make sure, like again, like that's one of the things. But you can play quickly, but you always want to make sure that you're like hitting, not missing any triggers or anything as you're going through playing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it looks like it's good.
Looks like Mando is going up.
Mando's doing his reaction.
And here comes the revenge by Mando.
Yep, position yourself onto the point.
And since Vader did, oh wait, it wasn't Vader with
no, those were the ISF.
But that should be, yeah, flipping the point, scoring the 4. That is the struggle.
Yep.
All right, now back to Cody here.
So he's taking Stormtrooper. It's busy over there.
Yeah, so unfortunately you can't really see what's going on the other side of that the tower from the high ground set. But on the reverse side of that, you have Bo, one of the Dark Troopers, and the Mandalorian all like lined up on the first level of the tower, and then directly below that at the egress point, you have one of the Clan Kryze, and you have Iden there. So it's just a 5 people right behind that tower. That's like really difficult to see from the top.
You can barely see the 3 that are sticking out.
Right
from the little tiny
All right,
spot.
so it looks like this is exact same like one that we had on the stream before for the
man.
I'm almost positive the exact same one. So Cody rolls for the point here, which is going to be the shield that the block symbol, which is back. No one's on that one right now. So depending on who he pulls here is going to dictate like where he goes with that. I mean, that priority point. You do have Paz, though. Paz is not really fast enough to get there.
Sadly, no.
Paz is up and there's an orientation. Izzy, stop kicking things.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was mine. It dropped out of my pocket. Calm down.
All right. So, yeah, here we are, like, basically, like, trying to, like, going with Paz is going to, like, so all he has left now is Bo in the deck. So, I mean, it really didn't make sense to, either one of them wasn't going to be ideal.
No. Bo's already securing that back point, so she's fine as is.
Yeah, this wasn't, I mean, like, for Cody, I don't think this was the best draw for him. He definitely could have had a better draw. But I mean, one of the things, like, now looking at this, he really has to fight for this. Whether he wins or loses the game in general, like, you really want to have at least, you don't want to drop 2-0, like, especially if you're trying to make the second day at top 32. Yes. It really can hurt you.
Oh, no.
You love hearing those sultry tones. Well, I appreciate that. We miss you back in Arizona. Yeah. So we're having a good time out here. I hope you're having fun back listening to us and watching us at home.
Yeah. Hope you're having a good time, Frankie. Hoping the kid's doing good.
Yeah, so he's looking at, like, basically the debate right now that Cody's making is what he wants to do with Paz, if he wants to try and go to a different stance to try and just do all sorts of damage into him. And that's really what we're looking at with all of that.
I mean, not impossible. It surely is.
I mean, there's just so much chaos going on the other side of that tower right now. Is like probably the biggest thing is, like, everyone keeps moving over there more and more, especially now that like that point has been in contention this entire game.
Yeah, and we have Bo back there giving support off to Mando. Mando contesting with the Clan Kryze, and Iden, and I believe a
Dark Trooper.
A Dark Trooper. So there's a lot of juicy targets for Vader. That's probably where he's going to head. Yep. Oh boy, attacking ISF.
Attacking the ISF. Basically 3 blocks from them.
Oh boy.
With a lot of fails in Cody's roll. He has 3 fails, 4 strikes, so basically just 1 down the tree.
Oh no.
3 damage pin push.
3 damage push and a pin.
He did not get the 1 shot.
No, he sure did.
He's got a heal on his turn.
I mean, but like ideally that was probably the best play because basically if you put the ISF down before he refreshes the deck, next time they come up, that they're just getting removed from the board. So I don't blame Cody for trying. I don't blame him one bit. So the expertise is going to be the priority point. That is the one top.
That is the party point.
Yeah, the one that everyone's on.
Oh my.
So Cody, like technically Cody has that point up top, as well as the other one that Bo is on.
Yeah. So as of right now, he's withholding an extra point that Duncan could probably profit from.
Correct. Now Vader's coming up.
Yep.
And like you said, there's just all sorts of things to swing a lightsaber at on the other side of that tower.
This could be very dangerous too, though. Because this is technically Duncan just has to win this struggle to 2-0 it.
Correct. So just 3 damage and a shove by Vader. Pretty lackluster in all reality. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Really wasn't that great. But that's for Cody. That's
Vader didn't have his Wheaties yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now this becomes dangerous. Duncan is investing all these resources and characters to this top point.
Right.
And if Cody ends up swinging this, he is left very wide open, or at least Cody has a very large portion of that bottom side of the board.
And one of the things we were pointing out in the last round is that when Cody, or when you're playing or Sabotage Showdown, you have the 2 different. So Vader's exposed because of the failure. But what I was saying is like you don't get a choice. So like it behooves Cody, just like in the last game. Losing the first struggle isn't as impactful if you can win that second struggle. So priority, I believe, they're rolling the dice off camera, so I'm not sure where the priority went. I believe it's down on the shield again. All right, so Bo went with Bo because that was the last in his deck there.
Just to make sure Mando's with that range 3 bubble.
Right.
So of course, Iden and Vader are both over there and both his options.
Yeah. So now just trying to choose who he wants to hit.
I can't do that.
And then Duncan comes over here trying to get Aubrey to cut his deck for him. Like, no, I don't.
I saw Duncan with the 20 underneath that deck.
Right,
I don't trust it.
And Aubrey raised his hand in surrender and said, I ain't doing that. So I think Cody's Cody's able to refresh his deck here, which is kind of good for him. Vader did not getting the wound once he got shuffled back in. That's why he was playing around with his 2 cards over there. So Vader is back in his deck again.
Also, Bo hits fairly hard. She does.
She can.
But with Vader still being in the deck, Vader being recycled into the deck just gives ISF another chance to get wounded again.
Exactly. Especially since he's refreshing.
Attacking into Iden.
Attacking into Iden was the decision. But nothing goes through. Tons of blocks there by Duncan.
Yeah, that's sadness.
Yeah, that was not ideal for Cody, unfortunately. I mean, he really needed to get that wound, but he still has the 2 points.
He still scored 3.
Yeah. No, just 2 because
just
I believe
2?
the priority was still there. Yeah, so just scoring the 2. Like I said, not ideal. And the failure is the prio, so back where Bo is.
Oh, man.
Other than Vader, the other one in his deck.
Oh, that is true. Iden and Vader probably are the last ones. He shatter pointed with Iden.
That's what it was. Yeah, he shatter pointed Iden. So yeah, he's still got Iden and Vader in his deck.
Oh man, both his primaries.
Either one of them can potentially go and take that point from Bo too, and with that being the priority, this is looking a little rough for Cody. I mean, we'll see what happens. He does pull Vader. I mean, Vader can just fear and Deadman up and
yeah.
So Bo's on a point, so he needs 7 damage to actually take it.
Yeah. So she does, because she has on an active point, is protection
technically,
steadfast.
he needs 8 damage.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I think that's just the play.
Yeah.
It's just to go straight into her.
With Iden and Vader being your last, yeah, that's kind of we're looking for wounds here.
Yeah, and he can potentially end this. I mean, if he can flip this point, that's 2. Puts it to 0. You're getting 2 momentum off of it, though, if he can flip that point. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, this is where it's going to be a pretty impactful dice roll here. Bo, just 2 blocks.
Just 2 of them.
Let's see. There's a crit, 3 expertise.
Oh boy, coming from Vader, that's at least what.
Yeah, so basically 4 down the tree here on Vader.
I think that's enough to take out the, if I remember correctly.
Vader does hit hard, so I mean, this does have the potential to take out Bo. So
well, I mean, when you slaughter that many younglings, yeah, I believe you were entitled to hit that hard. Oh boy, this is really sad.
Yeah, it's Vader. I mean, Vader is doing Vader things. I mean, this is like the why this is the list to beat. I mean, it just hits hard. It's a very attrition focused list. I mean, that's where what we expect to see coming in here. I mean, the Mandalorians have play into them, but the amount of damage that this list puts out just can't be stopped sometimes.
It's
so going the bottom round. First shovel will matter because of steadfast. Doing the 6.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Mandalorians definitely do have a certain play style, and they're a lot more objective focused than I would say most Empire lists. But in this type of game, the objectives matter, so every list is objective focused.
Right.
But Mandos just suffer that they just can't punch as hard as Empire can.
Because she's getting shoved off the point, she won't have protection. So 6 damage will take her.
All right. Yeah, so he actually utilizes the shoves to get her off the point so she won't have protection. So he will end up basically doing enough damage to wound Bo.
Yep. Bullying Bo off of her own superpower, yeah, that's kind of... Well, off of her own tactic, yeah, that's...
Yeah, she's not a superhero, even though some of us think she is.
Well, tell that to the girls that she inspired, all right?
Fair enough. But yeah, and then basically being able to move that onto the point because of the trigger.
Yep.
Because of the wounding trigger.
So ways to motivate them.
Basically, yeah, scoring 4 points here.
Yeah, revenge trigger for
Revenge trigger from Mando's going to go off. But yeah, this was basically going to be scoring 3 points now because of the wound trigger by.
Well, if Mando can position himself onto a point.
True.
Because, well, we can't say it too loudly, but if Mando does get onto that point, he does stop Vader from scoring it.
Yeah, and I think Cody already saw that as well. Because he did move him within 2. But it does flip. Now he can flip the top point, still scoring 2.
Yeah, scoring 2, but better than scoring 4.
Correct.
At least now it's still alive, adding Cody's court.
Yep. So basically adding 1 momentum for the wound and 1 momentum for the landing on 0. And Paz again for Cody off the top.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on over there on the other side of that bridge. I wish, unfortunately, don't have the camera view of that one. I think we'll see how we can get these tables set up so a little bit better review for tomorrow. Yeah, and as you were saying, Dan, yeah, again, reposition with the revenge trigger, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, Dan, Cody saw your comment and did that. And because of that, he cheated.
He did go, and yeah, I don't think Paz was going to be the right play, so he did go ahead and spend the force to reserve and pulls the shatter point, which I think is pretty good for him right here.
Who would he pick? I mean, he would want to get more bodies on. Coverts are an option.
Decides to go with armor because armor gets that move.
Fair enough. She also gets to move somebody. If he really wanted to, he could move back Bo onto the point. But it seems like he's moving.
Yeah,
there you go.
Jumping Paz over to that point because that is the priority point as well. So definitely wants to make sure you have a hold of that.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but also Paz is reactive.
Right.
I would say bodyguard.
And it looks like he's debating Hunter and Prey.
Yeah, well, I saw him flip the force, so I'm assuming he did do it.
Yeah, Hunter and Prey, and looking to sit there and take out that ISF, which would basically make it to where they are gone next activation. Yep, Hunter and Prey, and here comes into the ISF, which he's hoping to take out here. Ideally for Cody would be the play.
Yeah, I mean they already have 3 damage on them from Paz's turn.
Correct. So he has 0 because he did expose it with the Hunter and Prey. So yeah, I would say that it's a safe bet to say that the ISF are going down again.
Yeah, and armor gets to heal off her exposure gamer.
Correct.
So this is probably the best outcome Cody could have held for.
Yeah, scoring 3 points with the wound is fantastic for him.
Yeah, and then ISF get off next turn.
They'll activate and then after the refresh. Yeah, so
our first model removal of the street.
Potentially.
Good.
And Cody wins the award for putting every condition onto the ISF.
This is the first stream where that does happen. We were very close last
we were
last
close.
round.
Yeah, last round there was this one short.
I think the Padawans just needed the pin.
Yeah, they were.
I think that's what
close.
it was.
Right. So they were just playing around trying to make sure that Cody moved to where he could keep his hunker token. So yeah, scoring. He's going to score 3 here. Should have got a momentum for the wound. I don't know if he hasn't put it on there yet.
Yeah. Well, Duncan's in tears right now.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
They're just making sure the intent on the hunker is
And scoring 3, so he's basically in a pretty good position here. Here comes Iden though. The fail is the priority, so priority is not moving.
does she want to abandon that point?
There's so much over there right now. I don't know how much it's going to matter, but yeah, it's and that's kind of what he's looking at is like he's exposing Mando.
No.
And basically going to try and put something into Mando here. I think, if I recall correctly, he's on 2 damage on him right now.
Well, I don't think so. He's gone.
Oh, he healed it off. Yeah,
he heals 2 every time, and he has gotten 3 opportunities to do so.
Correct. So yeah, he should be
fully
healthy.
He should be full health.
So Iden is flipping sides. After he told us at the beginning of the game that there's only one side to Iden, he is actually flipping. So I don't know what's going on here because
I think Duncan's a liar.
I believe so as well.
Cheat, a scandal. He's a.
All right, so there was quite a few fails in there. He's got basically 2 crits, 3 strikes.
Yeah, but 1 block.
But Cody only has 1 block, so 4 down the tree again.
4 down the tree.
Not enough to take out Mando.
Yeah. Cody sitting on 4 force though is kind of brutal as well because reserving Paz kind of hurt him.
Yeah, well, 4 out of the. I think he has.
Route, so pin, the 2 shoves, dash.
Pin, 2 shoves, and a dash basically is what's going to happen here. It wasn't going for the wound. I think he was just going to try and move him off of the point to try and get it back.
If he can. Such a weird angle.
It is kind of a strange way. So they're discussing something here. I don't know what they like a rule like the looking at Paz and what Paz's abilities are. So that's kind of where the
well they're talking about the within 2 of Mando. Yeah, I was just like, what the heck?
All right, so yeah, they're basically getting a judge over here kind of to go over that I'll cover the rear ability.
Yeah.
It's really kind of what they're trying, like, because I think there's a misunderstanding of between one of them of like what that truly is. So here comes the judge.
Yeah. Well, maybe I believe that he is trying. Duncan's side is that the shoves went through. He is no longer within 2 of Paz.
Got it. So yeah, because it's after the effect resolves is I think the issue that he's running into is that because the effect is resolving, you have then this unit may use this ability. So the problem is that you're using it afterwards. So like I think that's the conclusion that they've come to. They've already scored this out though. They're both hitting 0.
Yeah, it's tough because the way that shoves work, it can cancel out a lot of abilities.
And it looks like he rolled. I'm assuming that's the priority roll. If that is, that's 2 points right there. A wound and flipping a point wins this back for Cody. Like he's been putting in the work to try and get this. So
yeah, Duncan is not making it easy for him either.
No, not at all. Oh no, they haven't rolled the priority yet. So
priority is moving down to the point that belongs to Duncan. So this is rough.
Yeah, so the priority point is the top one, the expertise. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, depending on who he gets, he did get Mando.
Yeah, well, because he had Paz in reserve.
Yeah. So pulling Mando off the top is kind of helpful there because that does help him to potentially flip that point. If he can get a wound, we'll see. But ultimately, yeah, he's going to need that. He's going to need that priority point for sure. and that will definitely help out for. So Cody's going a little in the tank, but this is super important because whether he wins struggle 3 or not, he has to get through this struggle first, and this is a pretty important.
Yeah, if Cody doesn't, so with Mando, he wants to be able to get back onto the ingress point and be at the same level as, I believe, Iden, right? That's where Iden's at?
I believe so, yes. I mean, like I said, it's difficult to see from that angle. That's one of the things with the terrain that we get here. Like, sometimes it's just a little too difficult to see everything. Duncan over here having a good old time too. Like, that's what I love about the community out here. Everyone's like, it is usually in a really positive, upbeat mood. I mean, yes, it's and everyone understands that this is a game that we're here to have fun, here to play. Yes, there is a competition going on at the same time, but everyone's playing the game to have a good time. All right. So, yep. A lot of blocks, 5 blocks.
No.
I mean, that isn't exactly what they want. Mando only getting his 2 crits through.
3 and a shove.
So it's just 3 and a shove.
I don't know who's this.
But it looks like that was enough to sit there and do the wound because he put a momentum on there.
Oh, boy.
So close for Cody right now.
Very close. If he
Scores 3. Yeah, he scored 3.
scores 3.
Like the biggest reason, like why this is important for him to actually win this struggle is you can still get into day 2, the top 32, with a 3-1 record in the Swiss, but tiebreakers are pretty awful if you lose 2-0. So that's the biggest thing here. So yeah, it looks like he's still going for that second attack to try and see if he can.
Punching Vader, and it's unwise to lower your defense.
Yeah, unwise to lower your defenses into like with a punch into Vader. So
You roll
2
2 misses.
misses in melee is not good, but Vader didn't do all that great. So just 2 blocks, 3 down the tree.
You did roll 2 fails.
So basically, they're just double checking the measurement because this is a very pivotal shove.
Yeah. Well, this wins the struggle outright, but also positions Vader further out.
Right, kind of puts Vader in a position to where he can go and get everybody and do some pretty hefty damage. But
Mando's climbing up. Right there, AMG. Yeah, it took me a second too. They're the same size.
See, me and Cody think alike. I used a lot of my MCP range tools for Shatterpoint as well.
right. Okay, so Cody pulls the struggle out there,
Yeah,
which
he
is
pulls it out. Very hard earned.
yeah, that was he fought for that for sure to sit there and get in. But ultimately, I think what really happened for him here, whether he wins or loses, he needed to get to that second one. So yeah, it's the flip. All right, so it's kind of like that triangle at this point in time. So you got the top one stayed live with and then the bottom 2 on each side of it. So looking at this, pretty good for Cody, I think.
Very well for Cody. I mean, we have armor down there, at least on the right-hand side with the triangle. Then, Duncan does have that left side one.
Yeah, and he has a dark tree.
Punching Mando underneath that, the tower.
Yeah. Dark Troopers going like for the attack up top into the Mandalorian, but basically nothing happens there.
Yeah, I think one gets through.
But overall, pretty good for Mando.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he tanked one
with
attack.
protection because of Bo,
that's right.
nothing will go through
I'll
here.
get smacked, Dark Troopers.
Right. This one looks a little more promising, though.
That is a crit in seeing the roll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of blocks, though.
Yep. So the crits will go through.
Yeah.
The crit will reducing the crit, though, so nothing goes through. Solid block.
Well.
Yeah. So the crit mitigation comes up clutch for Cody right there.
Well,
so.
you remember the scene in The Mandalorian where the Dark Troopers just punched Mando's helmet into the wall? Yeah, that's essentially what just happened now, but no damage whatsoever.
See that guy right there.
Yeah.
All right. But with moving on to that point, no one's going to take the back point. And Cody owns. Well, so it was only just the 1 point up top that Duncan had.
Well, Duncan has that side point. Cody ends up having this point. Duncan has this one because of Hask and I think another.
And
unit.
the priority point is where the point that Duncan has. So.
Yes.
And Bo-Katan coming back up.
No boy. She's like, "Hey y'all, who do I want to help up?" Oh, she wants Paz.
Yeah. Makes sense to move Paz forward here. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's trying to set Paz up. He has him in reserve.
Exactly. It is going to be 4 rounds, Quincy. Like 4 rounds today, 4 rounds tomorrow, and then the top 32 is on Saturday. They'll do 3 rounds that to cut to the top 4 on Sunday, which will be 2 rounds, obviously.
It should be fun. Just see everybody with their shopping bags at the
right. Yeah, like a lot of people buying a lot of stuff today, and it's the first day of the con. I mean, that's a big part of what happens at AdeptiCon is just buying all the cool swag and all the cool stuff that they release here and show. So. All right, and basically kind of moving everyone around, just trying to see what he can do here.
Moving in Paz, and Bo just has. So I'm pretty sure she ends her movement within 2 of a Mandalorian. So now it's her movement, her dash, and her jetpack. So she has a lot of movement options. But where does she want to go with it?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what he's trying to figure out is where he wants to be able to go and what he wants to be able to ideally put Bo in order to help. So basically,
so her movement to end within 2.
And of course, Mandalorians are stronger together.
So dashes by Vader. Is that within 2 of that bottom point? Looks like it is.
Barely, but yes. Using another force
to hippity hoppity. Yes, sir.
All the way across the board. Flipping the priority point to her. Yeah.
No, Bo has to take out one of those units. I'm pretty sure she has to take out Gideon.
I think Gideon's sitting on like 6 damage, if I recall correctly. 8 dice into Hask. There's 4 blocks. There's a lot of expertise in there.
No, that's
a lot of expertise.
Yeah. That's 4, right?
5.
5 expertise.
But basically turns into the crits, so 3 crits through. That should be enough to take out Gideon. Yeah, he's got 3 health remaining at this point in time, so I think he's going to get there.
5 and a pin.
Yeah, 5 damage and a pin is going to put
down
down Gideon Hask. So that'll get a momentum, flip that point.
Hask is doing his thing.
Yeah, Hask has his
We live up to our name.
2 crits in there, 3 crits. Healthy Bo, that's not 5 damage and a strain into Bo. So she is
She's not looking so good.
not looking so good, but she's already got 1 wound on her too. So I think I need to do that. But he scores the 2 points from the prio.
I believe so.
Prio moves to the top of the screen to the the expertise.
Hask going into reserve.
Had Hask, reserves Hask, brings up Stormtrooper Sergeant.
Hey, that guy.
That is that guy. Stormtrooper Sergeant gonna see if he's gonna do some movement stuff to do some damage to some people. Yeah, this is kind of a pivotal, definitely a pivotal one for both of these guys. They both really want to sit there and end up winning this, going 2-0 into the next round. And super important for Duncan because he's definitely doesn't want to be list locked going into round 3 being 1-1. We have now hit mission critical as well. Mission critical here. Since we just started this, I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact on
well,
one
Cody,
way or the other.
Yeah, well, Cody already has
The momentum.
The momentum. But it just makes it easier for Cody. I mean, if Cody, this is assuming that Duncan's turn doesn't go as well as he thinks it is, but with Cody just wounding someone and then getting a momentum from the wound, and then it just leaves him like a point away from winning the struggle. I think with what's going on, this is probably favoring Cody.
Slightly favoring him. So up the ladder. And an attack
Mando.
by the Stormtrooper Sergeant into the Mandalorian.
5 dice.
No.
Well,
I think that turns into just 1 damage from the expertise, 4 down the tree. I think Mando's going to block all of that, so he just does 1.
he just does
No
damage.
successes, just does the damage. Yeah.
1 damage.
Yeah, just 1 damage into Mando.
Leaving Mando on 1. Oh boy.
1 success.
No, didn't even get the success. He just got the 1 damage from the expertise chart.
So he scored 2 and gained his momentum.
Yep.
Armor.
Yeah, because he has that priority point now. Armor and the back point, which is ideal because the priority. I thought the priority moved.
No.
All right, so he's trying to debate what he wants to do with armor here. Okay, yeah, the priority point did move to the block down there. He could score 3 here if he can secure this point, because right now.
Was Armor down this whole time?
No, she wasn't down. Oh yeah, she was. I take that back. She was. They did put her down. So she's waking back up at this point in time. So yeah, no, at this point in time, it's not wounded. I had him down at 6.
Yeah.
Aubrey. All right, so here's 3 fails,
Hey.
2 blocks basically after the conversion there. So definitely going to go. Looks like converting the expertise. Basically 3 crits, so 3 down the tree. With the armor, it's going to probably be on the hammer side still.
Hammer time. I don't think. Yeah, not enough to wound them.
But it should be enough to shove
them off the point.
I think it's just enough to shove them off the point. Taking the point, yep. So that'll score 3 here. Gets the momentum for the 4 mission critical.
Yeah, he needed the wound.
ISF. So here's the interesting thing that's going to happen now.
And now Duncan gets the award for having this first model off the board.
Right. So he's going to have ISF going right here. There was no way to avoid this at this point in time because he still has Gideon in reserve. So now he's kind of just trying to figure out how can he maximize this before he has to remove
looking for the easy wound, or even that, just depositioning certain characters.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. He ultimately looking to where he can get some attacks in as well. Yeah, this is a big activation for him.
It's also the last activation for them. It is sad to see these models go off the table, but
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like looking at games and stuff like that. That doesn't happen very often. That you don't see. You don't see models in this game removed from the table very often.
Well, they got pretty smacked pretty hard. Struggle 1, and then before Struggle 2, because Duncan had not refreshed his order deck till the end of Struggle 2.
And they were wounded because of how they got moved so far forward. They got wounded before that they even activated. So that definitely has an impact on it as well.
Yeah, troubling times for Duncan.
I mean, it's still a good turn on this could definitely help out. I mean, he's still in it depending on what happens here. But no, he's
like what? Like I believe he's trying to get to Bo. Bo has the most damage on her as of right now. So that's an easy wound for Duncan, and that could probably take 1 attack. So now I believe in general, or at least he's looking for the second attack or the second wound. 2 wounds and then another momentum from Mission Critical would leave Duncan in a good spot.
So I moved both of them up. All right. Here comes the attack by Duncan.
Oh boy. I'm assuming into Bo.
Yeah. Does have the automatic hit. Oh, that is a brutal defensive rule. So basically 3 down the tree is what's going to happen here. So doing 3 damage. 3 damage and a pin into Bo. And here comes the second attack. It looks like they're going to probably go into Bo again here with the most logical attack.
Well, might as well finish her off. I think he left her on 1.
Yep.
Hanging Bo again.
Yep.
A lot of fails in this roll, unfortunately, as again.
Well, only 2 blocks, but I believe he gets her regardless.
Right. Yep, that's going to put Bo down.
Now Bo goes down. And away the ISF. Hey, they went out with the bang.
They'll score out their points.
Yeah.
They'll score out their points here, and then that'll end up removing. Mando's going to trigger off of this. I don't know if that's going to be enough for him to get over to that point to protect it. I think he's just too far away.
I think he is. He's moving off the damage. Hand out a hunker to, I believe, Paz? Or to the Clan Kryze, perhaps. But more importantly, it's the movement that Cody is worried about.
Yeah, like trying to figure out where he wants to go with this is going to be the most important piece of it. So Duncan scores here, gets on his side of the 0, and then after the scoring is done, he has removed the ISF from the board, which is going to
still on the diamond. So Duncan is preventing Cody from scoring 2.
But yeah, losing 2 bodies is going to be kind of rough here.
Figuring out if he's going with Paz.
Yep. So he's flipped Paz. Looks like he's decided he is going to move forward with Paz. So basically, Paz is going to be going here.
Nope. Flipping Paz to the other side.
Yeah, there's just so much. I can't say it enough. There's so much going on the other side of that board.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies over there. And I don't even think Clan Kryze have woken up yet. They're just 2 bodies that are taking up a lot of space.
Right. Yeah, that would be ideal for him, I think, is to get that. And that might have been what he was debating is, can he dig for Clan Kryze? Yeah, can he dig? Okay, so 3 fails by Duncan, only 2 blocks. A lot of expertise again by Cody.
Yeah, well, with Paz, 1 expertise gives you 3 hits.
Right.
I have no idea what 4 gets you. That's 5 expertise. Right. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so quite a bit. All right, so he's kind of debating which way he wants to go with all this, because there's a lot of Full tree with Paz.
2 heals and a shove.
2 heals and a shove. Who was that directed to? Stormtrooper Sergeant.
Okay, that was an attack into Stormtrooper Sergeant with the went full tree on him. Yeah, so that is going to knock out Stormtrooper Sergeant, which is ideal for Cody here to.
Yeah, well, Cody now gets a wound and 1 for mission critical. Yep. So he is just shy off 1 point from winning the struggle.
Right.
Duncan really has to pull something here so that he gives at least Cody another turn to get that struggle tracker onto his side and win the struggle. But if not, this looks like Cody's.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan's going to go in the tank here a little bit. It's been an uphill battle this entire struggle for him.
Yes.
I mean, even it's just the flop wasn't the greatest for him, and like you said, now he's down 2 bodies, so that definitely hurts him as well. Looks like he's thinking through it. He did pull Shatterpoint. I mean, gives him all the options.
Yeah, he does. Vader's there. He's just in the middle, not doing anything. He'll probably secure a point by himself.
The priority point is the one all the way at the bottom right. So
it's where armor is at.
It is where armor is at. So it's I don't know if you can take Vader all the way over there, but is that really the route you want to go with that? And I'm not sure that is but that is the priority point. He really needs to move that struggle tracker as much as possible, because that would move it 3 points, still get a momentum, and get if he could get a wound, then you're only 2 away on his side. Like I said, there's a lot of back and forth going on with this, so it's going to be difficult to see. They're both just talking back and forth, really trying to figure out what is the best option.
Yeah. Well, between,
of course, Cody's not going to give anything away though.
Yeah, with Cody and Duncan, like they're literally both having a conversation of like how you could win this, and then Cody's like, Duncan, you can win it this way. Then Duncan's like, but Cody, you can win it this way.
Right.
They're planning out their strategies based upon how their opponent could win.
Right. Yep. So that was probably like what we were kind of expecting. Shatterpointing Vader here is the way he's going to go, bringing it to that point at the bottom because that is the priority point to score those points. Because you just need to move that momentum tracker closer to his side of the board.
All he needs is a good attack off of armor to secure that point and to get that wound.
Correct.
This would be a very bad time for Duncan's dice to die on him.
Right. I mean, we do know like compared to last year. I mean, they were just playing with my dice. Everyone has their own official dice now.
Yes.
So we're good for them to use their good dice at this point. So Vader, fearing dead men up, along with the attack, going into armor. As we had expected with this one. So lots of dice getting rolled here for sure.
Dice from everyone.
Right. So 2 fails, 2 expertise, 3 blocks, and more than you can even begin to imagine with.
That's a couple of crits going through.
Just ultimately just 4 down the tree though.
4.
Yeah, ultimately 4 down the tree.
4 with Vader, I think, does get.
Yeah, with Vader is going to happen. Like I said, they've been swinging back and forth. It's been a fantastic match so far. Like nothing that I wasn't expecting between these two great players though. Yeah. So one short of taking her out.
He left her on one.
Yeah,
no.
one short of taking her. The Hask dice was no Gideon Hask dice. So again, taking out the ISF was huge here because he did not get the ISF strike.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
So like that again. That's.
Yep.
And that's the win.
Handshake.
That's the handshake. Cody ends up pulling it out 2-1. What another huge comeback on Sabotage Showdown. Thanks again for watching. Cody taking down Duncan in a amazing match between these two players. Continued coverage is going to be coming up in the coming days through weeks. So stay tuned for more videos from us as we break down all of those videos so you don't have to watch them through and live stream and everything along those lines. But if you want to continue to support us, basically join our Discord. There is a link to the Patreon below, or you can just subscribe, and hit that bell so you can see next time we put up some more videos. As always, thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you.